Alright, today's video is going to be a little different. I want to talk about recovering from a game that should be lost. And I'm going to use the first duo eval finals of this season and a very, very special team, myself. So, normally I have a few pros, but I think this game, even though we didn't end up winning this game, we only got about 10th, I think it's a great example about how to bring back a game that should be lost. Now, a little bit of quick context. Normally, I land here, the Superman split. The only problem is that in this lobby, the Superman split was supposed to be conned by 4 teams. Now, normally I'm all for a little 3-way action, but in a set lobby like this, being conned by 4 teams at a pretty mid-split is kind of a disaster. You're gonna have no real chance to win a game out of there, and so me and my teammate cooked up, or we thought we cooked. We said to ourselves, let's go this little dock over here. We can get in a flute, and then we can key Kappa, because Kappa is supposed to be conned. Not a great game plan, but in our minds, it was better than being conned by 4 teams, with every team around us being unconned. As you can probably tell by the way I'm talking, it does not go that way. So, let me go back to the bus real quick. And let's 4x this. Now, I tell my teammate we should high glide here to try and make sure we don't die out there to TSknows, because if we just, pull, on the marker directly above them, we're probably going to get beamed out the air, if not die. And right around here, when we pull our glider, I noticed something a little bit worrying. There is not 1, not 2, but 3 gliders on my screen. I see 3 different glider visuals. And we don't have good drops. By the very nature of me trying to float to ensure I don't die out the air, I have now ensured that we have no chance of being able to really win this off spawn if we are conned. Because of that, we're forced to swerve off towards the south side. And as you can probably already tell, not the best start. I have a stinger, 2 splashes, and my teammate has a stinger and a burst pistol. This is about as bad as the start as you can get. We discussed going back towards these islands, towards the turtles, and we know the turtles are going to be conned, so we know that's a no-go, and so our only thought is, hey, we can stick to the original game plan. We can try and third-party Kappa. We don't at this point know yet that there is no team conning Kappa, it's just 1 team, but we're starting to get a pretty good hint. We see that supply drop, and we also know that this team was able to get flag. So I go, yo, I'm going to try and lurk. This guy's going to come over, he's going to try and get the supply drop. We can, make something happen here. So I crouch over. The unlucky aspect of this is as Boji's running over, he's looking to the left to check for loot, and he spots DeMarco. And so all of a sudden, my lurk goes, pretty poorly. I see him pull out his gun, try and run at him, get really nothing off that. And now, we're in a stalemate, we're not able to generate an early game kill. And we're now in a straight 2v2 against a team that has a massive loot advantage on us. So, all we can really do is just try and scrap together loot in this POI before they force the fight. And we do get pretty lucky here. DeMarco gets an auto shotgun, I get a pump. When they do force the fight, we get inside. Try and get active on the outside. Doesn't work. From here, I just make the comm. We need to be active in our refarm while we are looting, or while we're fighting here. If we just, allow them to bully us and just waste our time, our game is, actually, fully cooked. We need to, at least be, somewhat productive here. If I end up stalling pretty hard, neither of us want to, make, the first play. Around here is when, I really clicks in my mind, yo, if I just keep in this, stalemate fight against this team, it's over. Our game is over, there's no winning this. So I'm, in my head, I want to back up towards this main, so I can at least get, a little bit of refarm going, find, just scrap loot, maybe... just maybe recover this game. That's when we get super, super lucky. There's a bunch of extra heals on flag. I'm gonna get the comm, yo, come. As long as we can just use whatever mats we have left to get inside this main, this is a game that, can be recovered. So, as you can probably tell by looking at this mini-map bottom right, this is not an ideal situation. We have about 3 teams here, and we do not have the loot to fight. One of the most important aspects of Fortnite is that when you are playing recovery, you need to make sure you have enough to actually try and make a play. If I wanted to right now, if I had like an opportunity to kill someone here, do I have the loot right now to actually kill them? Not really. I have 7 builds. I have 3 shotgun shells. If they hold their wall a couple times, I have no real chance to get a kill here. So even though we're in a stage of the game where we need to get a kill, the kill needs to come later. The kill can't be the first thing we play for. So we play to get out of this spot. My main focus right now is to make sure we recover our mats. When it comes to like every game of Fortnite, there's 3 things you need. Mainly when it comes to like Surge lobbies. You need mats, you need loot, and you need Surge. The thing is, these things kind of come in order, right? You need mats to make sure you can secure loot. You need loot to secure the Surge. And so if I panic right now and I lose track of my fundamentals, this is a very easy game to ensure nothing happens. But what I do is I keep focus. I make the call, we need to make sure we get to this bug base. That way we can recover our mats. Our main focus right now is get our mats up. Surge can always come later, but the opportunity to farm something like metal is very, very rare. If I do not get my metal on this zone, I'm basically in like a blackout zone here. Like, there is very little spots for me to farm my metal here. It's like here, here, and like here. So if I don't get my metal here, my game plan for the rest of the game has been dictated to me. I have very little freedom in how I get to rotate. Try and get some like Surge while my teammates farming. Imagine there are buildings here. I don't know why they didn't render in. But like I said, my main focus right now is to make sure we have at least enough mats to be able to play out this game in some capacity. Where we can like force a kill, and if we get that kill, our game is set. I don't want us to just be shambles playing the rest of this game, hoping we get a miracle. I want to take things into our own hands. If we're forced to take a fight later for our Surge, at least the game is in our own hands when that happens. See a team rotating near us. Get a pretty decent amount of Surge on them. But from here is when we can really start to like actually play out a game of Fortnite. So even though our heals aren't great, I have 2 minis, 2 meds, he has 5 minis and triple gun, we are still in a position to bring this game back because we have enough mats where if we need to force a fight, we can, and we now have a team we can milk. So we have this team in front of us. We have 200 Slicks and 1 up Kiffy. And because this team has to rotate in front of us, we can play a mirror behind them. Everywhere they go, we are going to go. And we are going to be on their back the entire rest of this rotate. That way we can just keep farming them for Surge. And they're going to be forced to do one of 2 things. Either keep being our kind of victim, or they're going to be forced to fight us. So I got another pretty good beam there, about like another 100 damage. But because I keep just having opportunities to get damage on this team while being in zone, still recovering, what really started out as a game that was like impossible for me to do anything in is now a game where I have like a genuine opportunity to do decent, right? I have the mats to place. While I don't have the heals, I have like a bit of Surge now. Like, we're going to have a pretty decent rotate in because we're on this edge rather than being in this cluster. This is a very recoverable game at this point because I did not panic and I did not allow my fundamentals to get away from myself. So as I rotate in here, I'm just trying to get as much tags as I can. Because it's like the first real set lobby of the season, this being the first eval finals, I don't really have any point of reference to go off of for how much Surge I'm going to need. In my mind, I'm aiming for like a little bit over 1,000, but that's just like a full random guess in my mind. It ended up being pretty accurate as I did need 1,000 damage, but I never really felt comfortable, like, with the amount of surge I had. So I'm going to keep just, like, trying to force surge. From here, it's a pretty tried and true surge principle. Control an edge, and then from this edge, you can, like, work in for opportunities, right? So I have all this space up here because, like, everyone that's on this edge is going to clear out to try and get surge. So as I'm rotating in, I can cut across, tag these kids, and then keep going up. So I'm just going to keep going up. I'm just going to keep looking as I go up. And then eventually I'm going to be able to just cut in. And then I'm going to be in front of all these kids. And they're all going to be like smushed on top of each other on this congested edge. Because they're all rotating together. After that, I can just keep milking them every zone after this. So even though my surge in the early game wasn't great, because I'm now putting myself in positions later on, I'm going to keep giving myself opportunities to get surge. So I take it, I don't greed, I keep going. I look, and now we're going to cut back in. But because we kept our lane clear, and we stayed to a side and had like a very clear path in, we can now cut back towards this congested side and look at the amount of players we can see. We have a huge cluster here. More teams are going to come in along this lane as well that we're going to be able to see. And we have a very, very clear path in after this. So even though we don't have good heals and we can't afford to really take damage, we are in a position where no one's really going to look at us. Because we also have that space, I have an opportunity to refarm. And we're still just milking gain so much surge right now. Zone pulls. And again, because I'm off edge, I have a very easy path in. All of these teams that are just like kind of clustered together, they don't really have the freedom to just like go north and then cut in west the same way I do. I just have such a free lane, so much open space, and I'm going to capitalize on the fact that I have all this open space. I'm going to keep looking back. I'm going to get in early. I'm going to elevate up to try and make sure I have enough angles to get surge. Because keep in mind, remember, I'm constantly worried about surge in this game. The only thing that can stop us this game from doing well with the amount of mats we have now is our surge. But I get in early, I elevate up, I make sure we're in a position to keep looking for damage, and then I can get a good refarm on because I have so much control over so much space. So I'm going to make it a little bit more space because I am afraid of this team aggroing us. So ideally, we would have controlled our space better here. This is probably one of our first mistakes. So because we allowed this team to kind of just like cut in front of us, we now have to invest more mats because we don't really have much space here. And if this team starts aggroing us, which they very easily could, if I only had this one singular box, we can very easily start to get lobbied from the north and the south. So I want to just make sure we had more space there because I just want to play a little bit more safe. This is where I'm like, yo, it's fake surge, by the way. I don't think we're actually that great on surge. So normally I would have liked to go early here if we were comfortable on our surge. But because I'm not too confident what the surge thresholds are, I want to go late here and just try and get one more decent beam before we go. Like one more like 50, maybe like 100 damage. The little diagonal crash pad. Doesn't go great as I bump and tree, but because we both have crash pads, I just make the comm yo, yo, yo. Just like, don't even bother getting together, just solo crash pad. Like, it's just what we gotta do. That was kind of messy. I say all the time, you should not be high crash padding, and I just high crash padded to zone, and I got punished for it. This is like a perfect example. Like, high crash padding almost like never works. Thankfully, I fixed it on the next zone. Also, notice I'm not popping my medkit right now. I want to get in before I pop that medkit, because the longer I wait, the more teams are going to be set up in zone that can look. And now we find ourselves in a pretty good spot now. So, even though, like, a lot has gone wrong this game, we are now somehow getting into 7th zone with a total of about 2,000 mats. Pretty bad heals, but we never had heals in the first place. And still enough crash pads and mobility to make this game work. That is the importance of having a structured, really, mindset when it comes to mid-game. We have not fought, we have not really done anything. If we were able to find one refresh, like that kill onto Javi was able to come to us better, we would be in such a golden spot. From here, we get a pretty weird pullback, but I know it's going to expand towards my left, and I know that's where our old builds are. So as it, like, opens, we're going to have, like, a pretty clear path. Get to our old builds. Bit sketchy high crash betting there. We don't really get punished for it. So we're trying to look forward here, see if we can kill anyone out the air, and then we're going to try and go onto the body. It kind of works here. We're also only 31 above, even though we've gotten, like, pretty good damage this game. Almost get the kill out there. We're able to secure this body. From here, tank, get out, and then reset front. So this is where the kinks in the armor really do kind of show. So me and my teammate met about 2 minutes after this eval open started. So we have about 0 chemistry when it comes to finding refreshes together. So I end up wanting to look down through a floor. He's on that floor, end up dropping him. All of a sudden we, like, miss our opportunity. And this is where the game really goes wrong, and this is a pretty key mistake. At this point in the game, my mindset has shifted from recovery, 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 surge, surge, surge to we can really win this game, right? We have good mats, we have heal off for endgame, but in my mind, I create a barrier to success. That barrier is zone. It starts to chip away at the back of my head. Zone, 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 zone. You can't take, you can't tank, you can't tank. Why? Because I want to make sure that even though it's unlikely we win heal off, that if it comes down to heal off, we don't just lose because we've taken so much storm damage. So even though we both have whites here, and very easily could tank and do a late crash pad, do so many different things, when my crash pad play that I want to do doesn't work, so what I want to do is I want to crash pad out of here diagonally over towards this side of zone. When that doesn't work, because I have to place a cone because there wasn't already one there, I realize, hey, if we crash pad from here, Cam and Dash are going to be staring at us. So this play is going to work. I'm going to have to tank if I want to do this play. And that gets in my head. I'm like, oh, we can't tank, we can't tank. I'm like, oh, no, we can't tank. But I can. This is just a mistake that is bred out of sheer, and I mean sheer, panic. It is me making this zone a barrier to my success over the players. What's going to kill me in this endgame? I'm 70 white, my teammate's 90 white. We both have whites. The thing that's going to kill me is not the zone, it's players. If I had just taken 2-3 seconds, tanked a little bit, even though I'm coming out of zone, lower white HP, even though it makes the heal off harder, you know what I'm making this rotate? Alive. Instead, I panic. I just change my game plan. Now I'm blindly running here with no idea, and I mean no idea of where anyone is. I run across a cone that listens in. DeMarco is now dead, trying to follow. And a team has the floor over there, and now I'm dead. So, all of that went wrong because I ended up creating barriers to my own success. So I hope that, like, helps, like, give you guys some insight into why panic is, like, one of the biggest issues when it comes to Fortnite and just, like, preventing yourself from placing. Because up until this point, when it comes to just pure IGLing, I had played fairly well this game. With just getting 1 kill and 1 refresh, we found ourselves in a very good position. But because I rushed a rotate, because I made the storm a bigger threat to myself than other players and made a blind rotate on this left side, because I did that, even though up until this point the game was well played, it didn't matter because this ended up being like a 15th place. I do hope this gives you guys some insight into how to recover, how the most important aspect of recovering and bringing back a game, whether it be in opens or in finals, is to make sure you have the mats and loot to actually be able to play the game you want to play. You don't want to be put in a position where your loot, I should probably do a different color, your loot and your mats are so bad, you are dictated on how you play, where you need to play a certain way, because if you don't, your game is over. You can always get Surge. Surge comes in many ways. I could have just fought a team this game, just full sent on them. I could have done so many different things. But because I have that loot and mats in the first place, I have the choice to play the game how I want to play the game. So hope this gives you guys just a little bit of insight. Hope this helps you guys. This is a bit of a different video, just me VOD myself when I do not win the game, which is something firstly, I never VOD review myself, and secondly, I almost never VOD review things that aren't wins. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I don't know when this video is coming out. I have a lot of videos scheduled, but leave a comment. Let me know, like, what you thought of this, like, if it was a good experiment or not, if I should ever do this type of video again. And yeah, appreciate all of you guys that made it through this video.